difficult, or did they allow you to be Sammy Hagar?
Well, sure, they didn't have a choice. That's all I could be. It was accepted. When I joined the band, it's like, I think the amount of my fans that came into Van Halen at that stage for my solo career outweighed the number of fans that didn't like the idea of Dave leaving. Because, I mean, everything, that first 51-50 tour, that album, at that time was the fastest selling record in history.
Hey, proof's in the pudding,
for
so to
the first
speak,
2 weeks,
you know?
they hadn't even heard it, and so everyone was curious. So there was a curiosity factor. We put the shows on sale, and they sold out instantly. There was never any doubt in our mind because we were making the music. We knew it was great, but whether or not it was going to sell, who knows? But there was never any doubt to us that it was going to be great. And I didn't ever feel any rejection. It was so positive. Is all we got were thousands of banners throughout the tour saying positive statements. You know, and I'm not trying to say negative things about Dave, but they were really either very positive for calling the band Van Hagar, blah, 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 or really negative towards him. So there was never, ever any negativity, except for one show we did. There were two guys in the front row that had David Lee Roth t-shirts on. Remember those poor guys? Remember those poor guys? There was one show, and they did, and they came out with Eat 'Em and Smile. Remember those two guys? And I said, hey, find out who these guys are. I know they work for Dave, you know. So it was just funny. We never had any flack from anyone except the press. The fans have been there from the beginning. We've had 3 #1 albums in a row. Every show we've ever done practically has been sold out. And it's like, there's been no negativity. And it's,
what was the press's take on it? I mean, he wanted to go. He wanted to do solo stuff.
Well, they hated the band with him.
And they got the
and then they hate the band without him.
And they've always hated the band, and they certainly can't blame his absence on making it worse.
No matter what, you know?
Did his persona get too big for the rest of the people in the band? I mean, he was pretty up front and center.
Yeah, basically what happened is he just, I guess he thought he was the guy, and after, you know, one of our biggest albums, he decided to go his own way, and we went ours, and thank God for Sammy. Best thing that's ever happened to us.
Peace and love, brother.
No, I'm serious.
Around 1978, when the debut album, the Van Halen album, came out with Eruption and other tunes on it, you guys have been a major presence in rock and roll. How has life on the road changed for you guys from the 70s, early 80s to now?
It's pretty much the same, if I remember right.
Yeah. Well, ain't nothing changing.
Well, if you got to think to remember it, I guess it is the same, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you know, basically, I still feel like I'm 18 years old and having a good time, you know? Believe it or not, we're going out tomorrow again for a couple of months, and I miss it. You know, I enjoy it out there. There's nothing better than the lights going down and 20,000 screaming fans going crazy for you, you know?
I'm not saying this in a leering way, but everybody knows pretty much what the lifestyle was like on the road in the 60s, 70s, early 80s for a successful rock band. In an era of AIDS, or in the case of changed personal circumstances, marriage or whatever, how drastically does the stuff on the periphery of the show, how drastically has that changed?
You might want to do an interview with our crew.
Yeah, you just let the crew have it. No. No, seriously, you got to take precautions. You know, suit up. Simple as that. Or just don't do it. You know, you got to be careful. Everyone's, I think, is a little more careful nowadays, and including the people, not just the bands. I mean, you know, the fans, I think, are a little more careful. It's not quite as liberal as it was.
What's the wildest circumstance, the wildest scene you ever saw?
Well, one of the craziest nights I ever had was when our first album in '78 went gold or platinum, and we were in Madison, Wisconsin, and we were opening for a band called Journey, and we destroyed the whole 7th floor of the Sheraton Inn.
Now, how much of that was a case within the rock world of kind of keeping up with the Joneses?
Well, that's what we were doing. We were going, all right, well, now we can do whatever we want, you know? We threw TVs out into the snow, out of the 7th floor. We did all the stuff because we figured, hey, that's what you do.
Was there ever anybody to say, hey, don't do this?
Oh, yeah, the cops came.
Yeah, your accountant, the hotel management.
But I would guess, though, that pretty much they indulge that behavior if you're selling out shows and you're making records that go platinum, right? They're not going to come down on you too hard.
They pretty much let you do what you want as long as you don't hurt anybody. You know?
Yeah, as long as you pay for it. You can do anything you want. That's a strange phenomenon in this business, is that what success brings you, and fame and fortune and all that. You can really, in the world out there when you're out on tour in rock, you can do anything you want. I mean, I swear. you can get away with any, I mean, you can't kill someone, but I mean, you can have anything you want. You can do anything you want. You want, you know, the helicopter to come and land on top of the roof, or somebody will put it together.
It's kind of like being a politician. No.
It's kind of like having so much freedom. It's like, okay, let's see how far you're going to push this. You know, and that's part of the burnout factor to it.
How scary is that? Is it scary?
Sure, it's scary because when you find yourself doing it, because, you know, I always try to keep a level head, you know, and then all of a sudden I say, fine, you know, I start looking at my bills and wow, you mean, gee, I chartered that jet, I did this, I did that. You know, you just start doing stupid things that you don't really have to do. And sometimes there are things like that, you get mad one night and say, okay, let's bust the TV up or something, you know. You can get away with it. You know, people protect you. You got all this little world around you and everything's, it's all, and I think that's dangerous. I mean, it's dangerous for some people.
What responsibility does a rock and roll band have to its fans, its listeners, or is it just entertainment and that's the end of it?
Honesty.
Yeah.
I think we have a responsibility to make them good records and put on a good show. I feel responsible, completely. I mean, not to inspire not to change their lives or like, you know, do anything farther than that. But, you know, you buy the record, I want it to be great. If you're going to come see the show, I want it to be great. And the whole band feels that way.
Oh, yeah.
This band is real conscientious.
What if somebody says, you know, you've been around for a while, you're married, you have at least one child, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it, one kid?
Yeah.
Okay. And
That he knows of.
You have
How many you got? No.
and you have friends who have children, and they say, you know, wait a minute, still love the music, but I'm not so sure if I'd want one of my kids, one of my daughters, when she's 14, 15 years old, to be one of those screaming kids at the stage door. Is there some validity in that?
What do you think, Ed?
I don't know.
Yeah, man, you better answer this one, Ed.
Well, thank God I got a little boy, not a little girl.
I wouldn't want my daughter backstage or nothing, but
Yeah.
out in the audience, that's okay, personally.
If she hangs out with the band, it's cool. Just don't go on a crew bus.
Yeah, stay off the crew bus.
Do you think the images, by asking this question doesn't mean it's my opinion, but you know those questions are out there. The images of women in rock and roll, a lot of people view as, you know, they're objects.
No, man, it's like not in this band. I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough subject. I think of women as just being the opposite sex, being just a balance to man, you know, yin and yang thing. I don't have any.
You know what I mean? If someone watches a video like Pound Cake and they take a look at that image of, that rock image of women, and the thing begins and ends with a cute little girl, and you kind of say, is this what the projection is for this little girl? She's going to grow up into this environment.
Probably.
That could trouble some people.
You're the
I
singer,
was real
Todd.
down on having that image at all in video, especially in that song Pound Cake, because Pound Cake has a double meaning to it. There's a real sexual, tongue-in-cheek side to it, but there's also an image about what I think is a beautiful woman, down-home type situation, which is called Pound Cake, plain and simple, you know, instead of the plastic surgery and the fake, you know, and all this stuff. You know, to me, that is turn off, goodbye, no thank you. So I didn't want women in Pound Cake for that reason. But then, you know, you get MT, well, you know, it works and all this stuff. So to me, that's just entertainment. That's like seeing Sylvester Stallone go and blow away 300 guys. Okay, anyone that takes that serious is crazy. It's entertainment. You want to go see that stuff in the movies, you go see it. It's great entertainment. That's like Pound Cake. That's what the video is. So some people like to look at women like that, and women that like to dress like that and do those videos and make money for doing it. Hey, they're happy. They got a gig. You know, it's no different. Look what we do on stage. You know, it's kind of the same thing. You know, we could be crying, saying, hey, you know, we're being made, you know, sex objects up there, you know. But, you know.
And against your will, taking kicking and screaming up there. About a year or so ago, during the Persian Gulf War, there was some news coverage about the fact that a lot of these guys, before they went out there to risk their lives, were listening to Van Halen.
What I heard is they were listening to us on the way to battle, and on the way out they listened to country music. So they got all pumped up listening to us, and kind of relaxed a bit on the way out.
I mean, I think it was cool just because somebody, can you imagine, I mean, the intensity of going into jet fighter battle like that, and they're listening to you. That means that whatever you're doing, the energy, the feeling, the heart transcends to any level. Because on that level, man, if you aren't focused and so centered, I was proud of that, not of the war aspect. We all were real proud of the fact that our music was transcending on that level,
And
on a
just
life
the
and
fact
death
that we
matter.
could give them a piece of home to take with them, so to speak, you know, it was really cool.
This is Van Halen's latest CD for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. They won a Grammy for it, an American Music Award for Favorite Heavy Metal Band, part of a continuing string of success for the 4 members, 2 of whom were with us tonight, Sammy Hagar and Eddie Van Halen. Thanks a lot. That was relatively painless, right?
Yeah.
It was great.
Thank you, Bob.
Just say see you later and we're out of here.
First time for us,
Bye.
Bob. We're going
See
to
you
get
later.
good at this.
Don't wanna wait till tomorrow.